Assalamu alaikum, new class alert. Join us every Saturday and Sunday at 9 p.m. Central for the Articles of Belief by Muhammad S. Adli, right here on Sunnah Followers.
Alhamdulillah, wa salat, wa salam ala wa rasulullah. Welcome to our class on the Articles of Belief. This is our new series on the Articles of Belief. And this is the book written by Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Adli. So for those of you who have not yet purchased this book, let me put it here. You want to go to www.adlionline.com and purchase this book written by Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Adli entitled The Articles of Belief. This book too needs to be a part of your Islamic library. You need to have the series, the trilogy of Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid's, which includes Get to Know Your Lord and Diluting Wala Welbera Volume 1 and Volume 2. And you also want to have the book called Know Your Lord by Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Adli, and also this book, Articles of Belief, with it too. All of those books should be a part of the Islamic library for those of you Muslims here in the West. So many of you convert to Islam, but very few of you understand the meaning of the Shahada. And if you don't understand the meaning of that Shahada, then that means you're really lost. You're just really a Muslim in name, because your Aqeedah, your belief system, has to be the way Allah commanded it to be. And that's why Allah sent down those verses of the Quran to the companions. As Islam spread throughout the Arabian Peninsula, Allah had to remind the companions. He said, just because you say you're Muslim is not enough. Okay? Your faith has not been grounded in your heart yet. You're going to have to prove that you believe in Allah by making sacrifices for him. Not just fulfilling the obligations that he has imposed upon us, but making sacrifices for him too. And you have to assure that your belief is what he says it should be. He says that we're supposed to believe in all his books, all his prophets, all his angels. We have to believe everything that Allah has told us about those things. He commands us to believe in the day of judgment, to believe in what happens in the grave, to believe in all of that, the resurrection. We have to believe that stuff, even though we have a hard time comprehending it. We have to believe in the existence of paradise and hell, even though they're not a part of this world and we can't see them. We have to believe that the jinn do really exist, and that they are not our friends. We have to understand that, yes, there are good jinns and bad jinns, but you won't have to ever in your life worry about a good jinn, because if it's a good jinn is not going to have nothing to do with you, because the good jinns believe in Allah, and Allah has commanded all jinn to stay away from humans. So a good jinn ain't going to be hanging around you. If you got any jinns hanging around you, they're from the awliya of shaitan, because the good ones will stay away from you, because the temptation to harm you is too great. Okay, so we have to believe everything. No, I got it right. Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid has his book called Get to Know Your Lord, and Sheikh Adli has his book called Know Your Lord too. So you should have both of them as part of your library. We went over both of them, guys. Remember, we did Sheikh Adli's book entitled Get to Know Allah? That's the same. His book is not the same as Kareem's, but he got a book with the same name. All of those books should be a part of your library. We went over all of them. I've taught from all of them. Okay? Those should be a part of your library because those are the books on Aqeedah. I've been teaching Aqeedah on the internet since 1986. But I've been teaching from the PowerPoint and notes of my teachers. Okay? Now you guys got books because Sheikh Atlee and Kareem Abu Zayd and them have translated a lot of the Arabic books have been translated into English for you. My teachers were Arabic. They did not speak English, but I had translators. Okay, well, now the books have been translated into English. So now you finally got books you can hold that I've been teaching for years. I've been teaching the Criterion. I've been teaching the Awliya of Allah, the Awliya Shaitan. I've been teaching about the soul. I've been teaching all this stuff, Wala wa Better, brotherhood, sisterhood. I've been teaching this stuff since 86, but now you got books in addition to my PowerPoint. And so these are the books we've been going over for the past 2 years. So everybody should have the trilogy of Sheikh Kareem Abu Zayd. The first book of his collection was Get to Know Your Lord. The second was Diluting Wala wa Better. The third, that's volume 1. This is now we're doing Diluting Wala wa Better volume 2. And then also Sheikh Atlee's book called Get to Know Your Lord. Okay. And this book here, Articles of Belief. Those are 2 Aqeedah books that Sheikh Atlee wrote that I've taught and am teaching. Okay. So make sure you go to Atlee online and order this one, the Articles of Belief. And if you don't have the one called Get to Know Allah, order that too, because that's on his page too. All right. Okay. So we have to make sure that our belief system is correct. Otherwise, none of our good deeds are accepted. We talked about that in this class yesterday. What about this? Let me ask a question before I start, just to wake up the numbskulls in the Zoom room. Yeah, we got a bunch of numbskulls in there. They think I don't know that they ain't listening. They chit-chatting. Some of them watching the Andy Griffin show. Y'all didn't think I didn't hear the Andy Griffin show playing in the background? What Andy Griffin got to do with you going to paradise? If anything, Andy Griffin might show you the way to hell. So, what do y'all think of this scenario? Abdullah, he goes to the mosque and prays all 5 of his prayers every day. He prays all 5 of his prayers at the masjid every day. He fasts the month of Ramadan. And in addition to that, he fasts 3 days out of every month. He also donates to Sunnahfollowers on a regular basis. Plus, he donates to his masjid on a regular basis. Y'all got all that? Also, he provides and he maintains his family as he's supposed to. Y'all got that? But Abdullah really believes that whenever he's having problems in his life, he can go to the grave of his dead grandfather, who was a scholar of the religion, and he can sit there and talk to him and ask his grandfather to guide him and give him advice on how to handle the problems in his life. What would you say about Brother Abdullah? Anybody?
Well, his belief system is off. His Aqeedah is off. So any good deeds that he performs will not be accepted.
And why do you say his belief system is off?
Because he believed going to the grave and talking to dead people that they could actually hear him. And that's not the correct belief. Like, they are totally cut off. And only Allah knows about the unseen. And it's been already revealed that they're already in the barzakh. They're in a whole another dimension. So his Aqeedah is off. So his good deeds, giving to the masjid, Sunnah followers, that's not going to be accepted by Allah. Simple.
What do you guys think about her answer? Thank you, Geechee, too. What do you guys think about her answer?
I agree. I agree.
Good job. That's it, guys. That's the truth. So all that charity, all those prayers, all that fasting is null and void. It's null and void. And we talked about that yesterday in this class. We gave you the dalil, the hadith. We gave you the verses of the Quran yesterday. That's why I'm telling you guys, make sure that you take screenshots of my PowerPoint, print them out, and then staple them together and then attach them to whatever page it is we're on in the book, because there's your dalil. You guys have the verses of the Quran where Allah says none of your good deeds will be accepted. Anyone who associates partners with him, anyone who disbelieves in him, anyone whose belief system is not as it should be, none of your good deeds are accepted. You're going to be that bankrupt man. That's why we have to be careful who we listen to. I was really shocked yesterday and kind of sad. There's one famous brother who's a good speaker here from out of America. He's also a graduate from the University of Medina. And he's got a PhD from Harvard and all that other stuff, the Kaffir schools too. I used to love this man. He used to teach on my website back in the early 2000s. Back in the early 2000s, I even had videos of him where he would give lectures here on my website. But then something happened to him. He changed. And just yesterday, right there on YouTube, he just put up a new video 3 days ago. And he's talking about grave worship. I would not have believed it. I mean, I believe it because he's been doing this since he's become Sufi or something now. He's supposed to be Sufi now or something. But it hurts me because this brother was a graduate of Medina, and I loved this man. I really did. And for the sake of Allah. And subhanAllah, I used to love to listen to his lectures. I would play his lectures here at my website. He would come and do special lectures for us here. What happened? He knew the hadiths. That's what I like. Y'all know my thing is hadith. That he knew the history, the hadiths. Then he started saying that we can talk to the dead people. We can talk to the dead people. We can make dua as long as we understand that the person that we're talking to, you know, cannot help us, but they can hear and advise us. I'm like, what is he? Where did he get this? Oh my God, he knows better than that. Well, he got a video he just put out. I listened to 10 minutes of it and had to delete it because I can't believe he's went that way. He's actually talking about talking to dead people in that new video he just put out. I don't get it. All your good deeds, man, if you're Aqeedah, and I look at a person like him, this is a man who really, I thought had great understanding of the deen, but evidently he didn't. Evidently he didn't. Because how can you have great understanding of the religion like that? How can you understand la ilaha illallah and then renege in it? Go back in it. Oh, no. He didn't have the understanding I thought he had. He just was a person that could memorize and speak well. And that's what the prophet was talking about. A lot of people can memorize and speak well, but has it hit their heart? If the information doesn't penetrate their heart, it's nothing. And it just hurts me that this brother is Sufi. Now, he was upon the Sunnah, but now he's Sufi with those crazy Sufi beliefs. All his good deeds. Because the Aqeedah is everything. Your belief system, it has to be the way Allah commanded it to be. We can't go and make our own rules. We can't twist the verses of the Quran around to mean what we want them to mean. Allah is clear. Allah says in one verse, you cannot make the dead hear you, nor can you make the dead see you. That verse is clear. Allah doesn't speak in riddles. He says it. You cannot make the dead hear you, nor can you make the dead see you. So how can you call yourself a person of knowledge and tell the people that the dead can hear you, that the dead can see you when you go to their graves? I don't get it. Subhanallah. The Prophet Muhammad explains to us, as Sister Geechee said, when we die, we are in what's called El Barzakh. El Barzakh, what is that? It's a barrier. Allah places a barrier between this world and the next. So even if a person died and wanted to come back here to hear you or talk to you, they can't. It's impossible. There's a barrier, a reef that blocks that. They're no longer part of this world. The Prophet explains that they're not here. They're not a part of this world. They're in the other world. They can hear and see what's going on there, not here. Okay? But this brother, he just put a lecture out 3 days ago. He's famous. And he's talking about that. Talking to dead people. Asking the dead to make dua for the people in Palestine. What is he? What? I stopped the video. I was watching it on YouTube. I stopped it. When he started talking about dead people making dua for the people in Palestine, I had to let it go. I said, nah, he done really went bazoo. That shows Shaitan can put his hands on any of us. Shaitan can turn a righteous man to a sinner. He can do it to him. He can do it to him. He can do it to any of us. You, me, any of us, if we allow it. Allah says in the Quran, the only one that can protect us against Shaitan is Allah. Is Allah. That's why as Muslims, we have to get in the habit of remembering Allah and calling upon him for help in our times of needs, because he's the only one that can protect us from falling like that brother has. Falling to the vows of Shaitan. And that brother has the knowledge. Not the understanding, evidently, but he's got the knowledge of the Quran. He got the knowledge of the Hadith, the knowledge of the history, the knowledge of the Arabic language even. But he doesn't have the understanding of any of it because he fell victim to Iblis. And that's what Iblis likes. That's what the big jinn called the Ifrit. And by the way, this is a question that one of my Bantus asked me about the jinn. You guys are all into this jinn stuff. You know, that's that African root stuff. Y'all need to get up out of that crap. Okay? The worst jinn are the Ifrit. And they are the ones that come out at my grip and they walk the earth trying to take down. They ain't gonna waste their time on you. You're nobody. You just a peasant on this planet. The Ifrit, they try to attack men like this brother. They go after the real scholars. They go after the shuyukh, as y'all say. They go after the daya. They don't have their eye on you. You ain't nobody special or important to them. They let your personal jinn takes care of you. But the Ifrit, they try to take down people like that famous brother. And they got him. I would never believe it if I didn't hear what he said in that video yesterday. Ain't nobody got to write books about him. He already saying it openly. Subhanallah. They're happy. Iblis is happy because he took down a big one, a good one. All right. So Aqeedah is everything. It's everything. And that's why the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam would remind the companions to always check their faith. He would say, check your heart. Do a lot of self-evaluation to assure that your belief system is correct, and then be firm upon it. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us of the days of fitan, which is what we're living in today, he told us when all the big trials and tribulations will occur, the one thing that will keep the people firm is their certainty of faith, your la ilaha illallah. Because the companions asked him, what should we do? Should we live to see the Mahdi and the Antichrist? What should we do if we live to see all these trials and tribulations? He says, it'll be your la ilaha illallah that keeps you firm. Those who truly believe that will survive it and get through it. Most of us are not firm in our la ilaha illallah. That's why I'm doing these classes. So today we're going to pick up where we left off. Yesterday, we spoke about the importance of having the correct belief system, the word Aqeedah. Aqeedah means what? What does Aqeedah mean?
Your belief system. Our belief system.
Belief system.
Exactly. Aqeedah means belief system. And what does the word Muslim mean in English?
One who submits to Allah.
Exactly. I'm a Muslim. You should be proud of that name, not any other name. Muslim means I am one, a person that submits to Allah. And what is the meaning of Islam? Does Islam mean peace? Does Islam mean peace?
No.
What does Islam mean?
Total submission.
Exactly. I don't want to hear this Islam mean peace crap. Y'all better stop listening to those ministers from Christianity who convert to Islam. Islam means total submission to Allah. That's your way of life. I am upon total submission. I submit my face, my soul to Allah. It don't mean peace. Okay, what peace got to do with it? What's love got to do with it? Hello, what's peace got to do with it? I'm into total submission to my Lord. Total submission means I'm going to obey him in everything he commands me to do. I'm not going to nitpick and pick and choose what to obey him in. I'm not going to keep questioning like you sisters and brothers are doing about them crazy dreadlocks. I had a person today ask me about dreadlocks. They're haram. I've given you the dalil. There, you got the proof. You people have to submit. 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 And you better hope you don't die with them dreads in your hair. Somebody just did a funeral, janazah. One of the sisters told me, the sisters here in America, I think she said, I forgot what community. But anyway, she sent me a text message. Some sister died and they did her washed her body. She said, Sister Layla, you speak the truth. She said, we had to wash this sister's body. She had dreads. She said, her scalp. She said that the scalp was white with crusted. She said it was ridiculous. She said we had to cut them nasty things out of her head. And we tried to wash her scalp clean of that filth that was in it. She said, Sister Layla, you are right. Them things are nasty. Yes, you can't comb your hair. You can't get to the scalp. I don't care how much you scratch. You got to dig and get that nasty, crusty stuff out. And she said the smell was horrible. As they scratched the crap out, the smell hit them. She said lailanasheeba was talking about this. I'm not sitting here lying to y'all. I know my deen, guys. I don't know how to cook. Let me talk about me for a second. My best friend is Latifa. She'll tell you, Layla cannot cook. And I like to cook. It's become a hobby. I'll get there and try to experiment with HGTV cooking shows. Nothing comes out right. But I can't cook. Don't ask me about sewing. My mother had me take sewing classes when I was a kid. Home economics. I can't sew, can't make nothing. I can't even stitch up a pair of pants. I'll just go buy a new pair. I don't know nothing about sewing. I don't know nothing about cooking. Don't ask me about birthing babies. I only had one child in my life. Lord, I almost died with her. Y'all know I'm a hypochondriac. I couldn't even breastfeed. Hello, Latifa will tell you. Latifa and my other best friend, Aisha, had to drive 3 times a day to help me breastfeed my baby. I don't know nothing about breastfeeding, nothing about raising no birthing no babies. But I do know my religion. That's what I do know. This is what I do best. Do y'all think I'm going to sit here and talk just to talk? I love Allah. I love the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I love the companions. And I love me. I'm trying to save me from hell. I'm not sitting here telling y'all stuff because I'm trying to get hits. I'm telling y'all stuff because I fear Allah. And I want you to too. When I tell y'all them dreadlocks are haram, I've given you evidence. I've given you the clear verses. But you don't want to accept it. You can't submit. So you end up like this sister whose body they had to wash. And they say, Layla, it was horrific. And she was a good sister. She loved her dreadlocks. She used to take care of hers too. There's no such thing as taking care of hair that you don't take care of. Unless you comb it, like the Prophet Muhammad said, unless you oil your scalp and hair, and unless you comb it through, you ain't combing through a dreadlock. And unless you brush it, and unless you clean it, that's not taking care of it. You sisters have to take them things loose, like the Prophet told the man at the mosque who had knots. He said, you got to take that stuff out and comb through it. You ain't combing through a dreadlock. You letting it just filth up. And you sisters are going to answer to Allah for that. Y'all are going to answer because I gave y'all the clear proof. And then when you getting washed, your body getting washed when you dead, the other sisters around have to put a mask on because the smell when they scratched that crap up was so bad. And this stuff just she said it was like wax, just cracked up. It's nasty. It's filthy. Y'all better cut that crap out and do like the Prophet said, comb, brush, oil, and comb through it. Like he told that man, comb through that stuff. Comb through it. You're not combing through a dreadlock. You just combing around it. People, y'all better get it together. Wear French braids. What's wrong with braids? Braids are beautiful and clean. All right. So we have to submit. That's what Muslim mean. When I say I am a Muslim, I am saying that I am a person who submits to my Lord. When I say my religion is Islam, I am saying I am upon total submission to my Lord. I confirm, I do whatever he tells me to do. I don't question him. All I say is, oh Allah, I hear and I obey. I'm at your service, my Lord. You said it's haram. I saw the evidence. I saw the clear evidence. The prophet said, comb through it, oil it, clean it. The prophet said, don't let your hair knot up like the jinn. The prophet said, there's a tree. Here's another dalil, Bukhari. There's a tree that grows from the pit of hell called the Zakum tree. Its fruit is like the heads of jinn, knotted up, knotted up. They don't comb through it. You people stop walking around looking like shaitans, like jinn. Do the opposite. Do the opposite of the jinn. Stop doing that with your hair. You look like Medusa. You look like the Zakum tree that grows out of hell. That's what the prophet said. Dreads ain't new. That stuff's been around since Allah made Adam and Eve. It's a sign of triflingness. The Vikings used to let their hair knot up too. They didn't want to comb their hair either. They were lazy and trifling. The Arabs would let their hair knot up. Lazy, trifling. Lazy people do that. Allah hates ugliness. He hates laziness. He hates triflingness. He loves beauty. Make yourself beautiful for your Lord, sisters. I make sure I look nice every day. I don't have a husband. I ain't doing it for a man. I do it for my Lord. So if I drop dead right now and Latifah got to come to my house with Mukhtar's wife and daughters and his mother to clean my body, they can say Layla went out beautifully. Beautifully. And they take off my hijab. Oh, her hair, her scalp, clean, beautiful. Y'all need to start thinking about death while you sitting there kissing them nasty, filthy dreads. All right? Okay. I think I broke it down. I don't know what's up with y'all in these lots. And by the way, we got Caucasians. Did y'all see the new one? Caucasians wearing them too. They trifling too. We got some trifling Caucasians letting their hair knot up too. Just nasty. Trifling. All right. So let's do what Allah says do. Make sure that we obey him, even if it's something that you don't like. Train your soul to comply. So let's put the PowerPoint up. We're going to pick up. That's where we stopped off yesterday. Obedience to Allah. We're going to pick up today with pages. What's the page number, y'all? So we starting with for this one again? Is it 6, Sabrina? Page 6. Pages 6 through 10. Yeah, 6 through 10. So everybody get the book. Let me put, and by the way, I'm screen sharing the people on Zoom to Facebook today, right now, because I couldn't open up Twitch. Okay, let's take out your books and make sure y'all take screenshots of my PowerPoint. Where's the PowerPoint? Articles 2. And this is the second session, yeah. Inshallah.
Yeah, take it down, Sister Layla. Don't forget.
Oh, okay. And this is, let me get over here. Yeah, and hold on. And wait a minute. Can't work all this stuff with these cameras. Okay, everybody, let's see. Now, okay, is this it? Let's wait a minute. There it is. I'm going to make it full screen. That's the book, The Articles of Belief. Wait a minute, I'm going to make it bigger. Give me a minute. Where's my PowerPoint? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with braids. The Prophet Muhammad wore braids. His wives wore braids. But he got on them Arabs about them knots, them dreadlocks. He said, comb that stuff out. He said, you got to take a comb and comb through it. That's what it says in Arabic. Comb through it. That's why you have to learn the Fusha. You read the Arabic, as Sister Wafat says, it says comb through it. Comb through it. She said, you have to comb through that stuff. You ain't combing through no dreadlock. Yeah. Okay, so pages 6 through 10. Pages 6 through 10. Can y'all see this? Or is it stuck?
Yeah, we can see it. Oh, on YouTube it's fine, yeah.
Wait a minute. No, this is it. I didn't turn it on. Wait a minute. Why is it doing that? Am I on YouTube there? I forgot I got to turn this. There's Facebook. Y'all see it now? Okay. The Zoom people, y'all see that? There it is. Okay, there. That's Facebook on the Zoom. All right, so pages 6 through 10. We're going to continue. And by the way, you can get the book by going to www.atleeonline.com. That's the book here on the left, The Articles of Belief, Muhammad S. Atlee. There's the old man. Yeah, he done took off 30 years now. He done went backwards in time. He got dark hair and dark beard now, but that's the old man. My old man. And there's your girl. Hello. Now, and there's Sunnahfollowers. Let's get started. Oh, take a screenshot with your phone. Okay, now here we go. All right. As Sheikh Atlee starts off here, he says the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his companions and those who came after them, followed by those who came after them. And you see how this goes hand in hand with what we're learning in Wala Wa Better with Kareem Abu Zayd's book. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his companions and those who came after them, followed by those who came after them. They are the best generations that ever existed. Allah tells us this in the Quran. So, whenever we call ourselves teaching the correct belief system today, it should be that. It should be the belief system that the Prophet and his companions had. And also, this was also the belief system that the 4 Imams had. Imam Ahmed, Imam Hanafi, Malik, Shafi. They were upon this belief system too. This is also the belief system that Imam Muslim and Imam Bukhari had. And by the way, Imam Muslim was the student of Imam Bukhari, just as the 4 Imams were students of the companions, of the 3rd generation of companions. Okay? This is also the correct belief system that Imam Ibn Taymiyyah and Ibn Qayyim had. And just to let you guys know, Ibn Taymiyyah was the teacher. He was Ibn Qayyim's teacher. Okay? This is also the belief system that Imam Abdul Wahhab had as well. So when you hear people talk about the early scholars, these are the people they're addressing. They're addressing the 4 Imams. They're addressing the scholars of Hadith, Imam Bukhari, Muslim. They're addressing Ibn Qayyim and Ibn Taymiyyah, and also Sufyan al-Thawri. All of these are the early scholars. They all followed the companions of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam in regards to their ideology and methodology of this religion. That's a little bit of history for y'all. Now, a good daya, a good teacher who knows their stuff doesn't have to go further than those original companions. And that's lailanasheeba. Y'all notice I never tell y'all what Ibn Taymiyyah said or what Sufyan said or what. I always stick with Abu Bakr and those original companions because they covered everything. They covered everything. They didn't leave anything out. I don't have to go see what Ibn Taymiyyah said. I don't have to see what Sufyan al-Thawri said. Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim did the hard work for us. They put all the sayings together in those two authentic collections. But I don't go no further than that. Okay? And our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us this wonderful hadith. He told us that a group from this nation there will always be a group of righteous believers from this nation who will remain firm upon the correct belief system until the day of judgment. What does that mean? He talked about how one of the signs of the last hour is that Islam will become strange and distorted. The people will abandon his sunnah. They'll abandon the hadiths. And instead, they will take fatwa from their scholars and allow them to change the religion. He said, but don't fret. There will always be at least a handful who will always remain firm. And this is so true. Even today, living here in America, subhanallah, there's so many people calling themselves teaching Islam, calling themselves scholars, sheikh, mufti, and all this other stuff. 97% of these people are twisted, man. Twisted. Ain't but a handful that I would even think to listen to. Ain't but a handful that I know what they talking about. Most of them, you listen to them and you can pick out their mistakes, their error in 5 minutes. So that's why I tell y'all, don't be duped by the internet. Don't be duped by all these people on YouTube talking about Islam. You better find one teacher. That's all you need. One teacher who is qualified and true upon Siratul Mustaqim, and you better hold on to him. You better cling to him like I cling to Sheikh Morsi. You better cling to him because when he or she dies, their knowledge and understanding goes with them. And stop hopping around these YouTube channels, getting confused by these ruwaybidah like you guys are doing. Because that's what we have, ruwaybidah. Okay? So the Prophet told us that Islam will become strange, the Sunnah forgotten, the Sunnah abandoned, but there will always be at least a handful that will try to keep it going. They will not give it up because of the innovation around them. Like you people are doing with these birthdays. That's innovation. Celebrating your birthday. Participating in non-Muslim holidays. Your allegiance distorted. Doing gender reveal parties. That's another innovation. We got Aqeedah. Why would you leave an Aqeedah for a gender reveal party? Well, that handful of believers will not give up the true Islam. And they could care less how many people listen to them, how many people follow them. You look at those people, they may have 20 people watching their stream. Just 20 people. Whereas the ruwaybidah got 1 million. But those true believers don't care. All they hope is that their message will at least touch the heart of one person. And they will remain upon that way. And they will be the ones to fight against the Antichrist when he comes. So the Prophet Muhammad told us all this, you know. The people upon a correct belief system are few. That's why I tell my students, don't concern yourself with what other Muslims are doing. Concern yourself with yourself. If that means you're the only one, like this person here, you're the only one in the crowd upon Sirat al-Mustaqim, then alhamdulillah, stand firm. Don't care what beat these other ones are walking to. Okay? And the people who are upon the truth, as Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atlee is saying here, we're not worried about the deviation and innovation. We're not worried about the separation of the groups because the Prophet told us it's going to happen. And that brother, y'all remember one of the brothers used to come here. He left because I told him that his wife is a kafir, which she is. She's a Christian. She's a kafir. Allah said she is. Remember I told him he was misunderstanding the meaning of that hadith? Well, check it out. Sheikh Atlee put it here. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the Jews will divide into 71 sets. One of them will be in paradise. The other 70 in hell. The Christians will divide into 72 sets. 71 of them will be in hell and one in paradise. The Prophet said, my nation will divide into 73 sets. One in paradise, the other 72 in hell. He said that one group of my nation that will be in paradise is the one that stays upon my way, the traditional Islam. Now, for the brother that was here and left, let's talk about the Jews and Christians. The Prophet also explained in another hadith that the one group of Christians and the one group of Jews that will be in paradise are those who were with their prophets. That's why you have to learn the hadith, Aqeedah. Those people that were with Jesus, they are that 1%. Those people that were with Moses, they are that 1%. He's not talking about the Christians today. Anybody that's not Muslim today, anyone who dies upon a way other than Islam, it'll never be accepted. Allah explains that. This is why I tell you guys, you cannot read a hadith and then think you understand it. You have to ask the people of knowledge. How do I know this meaning? Because I asked the people of knowledge over 30 years ago, and it was broken down and explained to me. That one set of Christians, that one set of Jews were the ones who were with their prophet, obeying their prophet in what he commanded. So those people that were with Jesus, those who were with Moses when they were living, they will be in paradise because guess what? They were Muslim. Jesus was Muslim. Moses was Muslim, and they taught Islam, and their companions who followed them were Muslim too. Allah says that in the Quran too. Allah says that. Okay? Also, we see that the road to Allah is only one. It's not 2, 3, or 4. The way to Allah is through the Quran and the Hadiths, with the understanding of those companions, not the understanding of your mufti, of your sheikh of today, or even the 4 imams. You have to have the understanding of those original companions, the first 3 generations. And you have to know the hierarchy. You have to know who was the top. The top one is Abu Bakr. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Abu Bakr is the best of this nation. He will be the first one to enter paradise after me. Umar is the second best of this nation. He will be the second one to enter paradise after me. Uthman was the third best. He'll be the third to enter after me. And then Ali. And then it goes on and on. You have to know the hierarchy, guys. If Abu Bakr speaks, everybody else shut up. We don't take the view of Umar over Abu Bakr. If Aisha radiallahu anha speaks about women issues, Ibn Masud can go somewhere and sit down because she knows better than him on women issues and family because she lived with the Prophet. If Ibn Masud and Abu Hurairah speak, Hassan al-Basri can go sit down because Hassan al-Basri was a third generation, not the original. If Abu Sufyan speak, Muawiyah speak, the rest of them go sit down that came after him. Y'all get it? So, you know, this is why I tell you guys all the time, you want the new shahadas. Y'all want to understand this religion. Stop learning from fatwa. Stop learning from your sheikh. You better learn from these companions. If your teacher is giving you the understanding that these companions had, then alhamdulillah. But if your teacher is teaching you based on a madhab or based on a fatwa, you let that go. Y'all understand that? Because Allah said nobody understands this religion better than those 3 generations. And that's why every day we stand to pray. We make that statement in that Fatiha, which is another reason why you shahadas got to learn the Fatiha. The Fatiha is not in English. It's in Arabic. You got to learn how to pray correctly. Your personal supplications can be in whatever language you speak. But you have to pray the way the Prophet taught us to pray. He taught us the Fatiha. He taught us the Tashahhud. They have to be in Arabic, not in English, not in Spanish. Parle français. Okay? Every time you pronounce that Fatiha, one of the verses that we say is, "Oh Allah, guide us to the straight path." Ihdina siratal mustaqim. That's the Fatiha. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. You're asking Allah to guide you to the straight path. There's only one path to Allah. There's not 2 paths. There's not 3. 1. That's the way of the companions. That's the way of the Salaf. Y'all understand that? That's my way. That's Dr. Dramali's way. That is Sheikh Atli's way. That is Sheikh Morsi's way. That is Kareem Abu Zaid's way. Only one way. Siratal mustaqim. That's it. Ain't no other way. Ain't no other way nobody can show you to get to paradise. Also, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said all of them will be in hell except one group. One group. This is the dalil that the Christians and the Jews that do enter paradise, they're all one group. They're Muslim. When he said all will be in hell except one group, the companion said, and what group is that? He said, those who are upon that which I and you, my companions, are upon. And that's what Jesus and Moses and them were upon too, guys. And Abraham and Noah and Ismail and Solomon and David and Bilqis. Y'all understand that? Traditional Islam. What is traditional Islam? It's what the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with. And it's practiced the way his companions practiced it. And the way Abu Bakr and the first 4 caliphs practiced it. That's the correct Islam. That's the saved sect. The saved sect. You hear a lot of people claim that they are of the saved sect. A lot of Salafis say that. A lot of these Salafi brothers y'all listen to on YouTube. Oh, we're the saved sect. Oh, really? No, you ain't. How can you call yourself the saved sect when you only take from your sheikh? You're not practicing Islam the way the companions did. Your understanding ain't like theirs. The companions said a woman doesn't have to cover her face. The companions said there's nothing wrong with a woman wearing makeup. The companions said there's nothing wrong with a woman showing her jewelry either. The companions said a woman can wear any color she wants to. So how dare you call yourself the saved sect? You ain't the saved sect because your understanding, until your understanding of Islam is what the companions were upon, you are not the saved sect. Y'all understand that? How can you call yourself Salafi and the saved sect when you are making fatwas that contradict Aisha? Aisha, the mother of the believers. Aisha, the woman of fiqh. Aisha, the one who handled all women's issues. And she said a woman ain't got to cover her face. She said a woman can show and wear her makeup. She said a woman can show her jewelry too. So how dare you say that you are of the saved sect when you're contradicting Aisha, the mother of the believer? Umayyah, she was one of the original companions. She said that we never wore dark colors, ever, unless we were mourning someone. And then we would remove our makeup. When we were done mourning, then we put on our colors, put on our kohol, and go about our business. How can you say that you are of the saved sect, Aqeedah, when you are making fatwas that contradict Umayyah, who was one of the originals, who's one of the 70 that will enter paradise? Your understanding ain't like hers. It ain't like Aisha. It ain't like Ibn Umar. What did Ibn Umar say about masturbation? Let's talk about it. What did Ibn Umar say about masturbation? Ibn Umar said masturbation is nothing except rubbing your own body part. And it's better than fornication. How can you call yourself the saved sect when you contradict him? What about Ibn Umar? Ibn Umar said masturbation ain't nothing but releasing your own water. How can it be haram? So you brothers got to stop calling yourselves the saved sect. The saved sect does not contradict those companions. The saved sect goes and sit they behind down and try to get the understanding those companions had. And they make a lot of dua, asking Allah to change their crooked soul and make their crooked soul conform to like those companions did. Y'all understand that? So I'm telling you, as my students, be careful of these famous brothers that y'all listening to. You in love with that brother because you think he look good. That brother gonna take you down a path other than Sirat al-Mustaqim. That brother you in love with because he look good and sound good, he telling you that you can't be beautiful. He telling you that you can't be seen, that you're invisible. Aisha was never invisible. None of them female companions were. You women better stop getting it twisted. Talk is cheap. If I got to keep telling you that I'm of the saved set, that should tell you I ain't. Because you should be able to look at my actions, look at my behavior, listen to what I say and how I back it up. That should tell you if I am of the saved set or not. I don't have to mention the word Salafi ever, and I don't. I don't have to ever say I'm of the saved set. You can tell by my behavior, my actions, my dawah. You women better get it together. And you brothers too. Stop sitting up pretending to be what you ain't. You brothers are so far away from the saved set it ain't funny. You're so erratical. You're so fanatical. The companions wouldn't, if they were living today, they'd probably execute you. Especially Umar. Subhanallah. Yeah, I got a lot to say about that. So therefore, it's incumbent upon all of us, women and men, to struggle, search, and ask. When people come to you telling you stuff about this religion, ask yourself, is this what the Prophet Muhammad believed? Is this what the companions understood? Can you tell me, did Aisha say that I can't wear makeup? Did the companions say masturbation was haram? Did they? Or did the companions say, like Az-Zubair did, the Prophet never mentioned it to us. And we used to go out and fight battles and we masturbated. The Prophet never told us it was haram. These are all authentic hadiths. But see, most Muslims today don't know the hadith. Like I told you, Ruwaybidah, they're learning fatwa from their scholars. So when people tell you what you can't do, is this what the Prophet said? Is this what the companions believe? You guys asked me about dreadlocks. I didn't go look up what El-Bani said. I told you what the Prophet said about him. I told you what he said about hair. I even told you that he said the jinn looked that way. And he told us don't be like the jinn. Do the opposite of them. I broke it down. And I told you that's the understanding the companions had too. That's the understanding that Salama had. That's what Aisha said. Comb your hair. Comb it through. Comb it through. That's what it says in Arabic. The Arabic word means comb it through, sisters. You got to learn Fusha. Okay? That's what they believe about dreadlocks. It's haram. It's ugly. It's imitating the jinn. That's their understanding. So we need to believe like them, understand what they understood and not deviate. As Sheikh Muhammad Saeed Atli says here, don't deviate even an inch because you can never out-trump those companions. You can never be better than them. You can never know more than them. And your fear of Allah will never, ever be greater than theirs. When Abu Bakr, radiallahu anhu, wanted to know something, he didn't have to go search through the tafsir of Ibn Kathir. There was no tafsir of Ibn Kathir back then. Umar, he didn't have to run and go get Sahih Muslim. They heard directly from the mouth of the Prophet. What did they say? The Prophet mentioned nothing about masturbation, period. And Arabic was their language. So they didn't have a need for a dictionary or a lexicon. If they didn't understand something, they would ask him. And they would look at his actions. The same with his wives, Aisha. Aisha wore makeup. His daughter Fatima, look at the hadith in Bukhari when they made Hajj. When the word came down about the hadith, she said, okay, well, let me go and remove my kohol, my makeup. Let me go take my makeup off then. SubhanAllah, those women wore makeup. But you think you know this thing better than them. You think the religion has changed. And again, it all begins with belief in Allah. People ask me, Sister Layla, why do people impose conditions into the religion that shouldn't be there? It's because they don't fear Allah. Why do people make things haram that Allah didn't make haram? It's because they have no fear of Allah. When they took Shahada, or when they were growing up, their parents didn't teach them the importance of believing in Allah and fearing his punishment. Instead, their parents focused on other stuff. You got to teach the people about Allah first and foremost, guys. Then comes the prayer. Then comes the other stuff. Okay? As Muslims, we believe in Allah. We believe in his angels, his books, his messengers, the day of judgment, and Allah's decree. We believe that Allah is the Lord, the King, the Creator, the nourisher of all things, including you and me. Everything in existence depends upon Allah. We believe that Allah and only he alone created all things. We believe that Allah is the deity and God worthy of worship, and there is no other deity besides him. All other deities are nothing but falsehood. We also believe in all of the names and attributes of Allah. We believe in his oneness. We believe in that he is one in his actions. We believe in his essence. Allah cannot be matched. Allah cannot be rivaled. Allah can never have a partner. There is nothing like him. Period. Dot. That's the belief of the Muslim. But these people weren't taught that. When they took Shahada, they didn't have a person to teach them those things. Listen to what Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning. Allah, there is no God but he. He's the living, the self-subsisting, the eternal. No sleep can ever take him, nor slumber. His are all things in the heavens and on earth. Who is there that can intercede in his presence unless he allows it? He knows what appears to all his creatures before, after, and behind them. Nor shall they compass anything of his knowledge except what he wills. His throne extends over the heavens and the earth, and he never gets tired in guarding and preserving us because he is the most high. He is the supreme. That is Allah. That's what these Muslim women and men should have been taught when they converted to Islam. That's what these Muslim women and men should have been taught when they were growing up in Islam. But their parents failed them. Their parents failed them. Their parents failed them, as we talked about in my 6 o'clock class. The souls were created after Allah created Adam. All the souls of all humanity was created then. And the souls were in submission to Allah. And the souls are kept wherever Allah houses them now, still in submission to Allah. But when Allah orders a soul to be placed in the fetus of a child, that child then becomes born, sometimes it doesn't. And that child comes into the world innocent and dependent upon Allah, knowing that it has to trust in Allah for its survival, knowing that only Allah can save it, protect it, make it live or make it not. And then as that child gets older, the parents are the one in control now. Before the child was born, it was nurtured in the mother's womb by the angels through the command of Allah. But now that it's been pushed out into this world, it's now in the arms of its parents. And now the parent begins to shape the child. The parents begin to mold the child. The parents begin to expose the child, the soul, to these different things that it's never seen before. And the soul is curious because, as Allah says in the Quran, the soul is attracted to what's dirty. The soul is attracted to what's bad because it's different than what it was exposed to up there with Allah. So the parents have everything to do with whether or not that soul stays in submission to Allah or not. Because when that child reaches puberty, Allah attaches a jinn to it. And that's when free will enters. Free will is the trust that those souls took on when Allah created them. And now that that soul has that free will, it's going to make its own choices. Whereas when it was up there with Allah, it was all in submission. Didn't have to make choices. Now it has to. Either it's going to choose to fulfill its purpose, or it's going to choose to not. But it's all in how those parents motivated it, molded it, shaped it. Y'all understand that hadith? That's why the Prophet said every human being is born in the fitra, born innocent, in submission to Allah. It's the parents that either keep it that way and make it grow even more or turn it into something else. So when that free will hits it, it'll either make the choice to fulfill its destiny, or it'll make the choice to not fulfill it the way Allah said to fulfill it. Y'all understand? This is hadith. This is aqeedah. This is aqeedah, aqeedah, aqeedah. Y'all understand that? All right. So